Do you love me? 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 Yeah, I love you too. I love you too. Yes, you do. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?